This is a British film with British actors playing British characters, and it's set primarily in Britain, yet Britain gets it 3 weeks after America. Makes very little sense. The Kid Who Would Be King is directed by Joe Cornish, the director of Attack the Block, and it's about this boy called Alex who finds the Sword in the Stone, Excalibur, he pulls it out, and it's basically a modern day reimagining, retelling of the story of King Arthur, but told through British kids. Now I'm not gonna lie, for the first 2/3 of this film, I was a little bit on and off with it, because it starts off really cliche with the main kid character. He lost his dad years and years ago, so he's really closed off, he's rebellious at school and against his mum, and the dialogue's really corny, it's kind of cheesy, but I kept having to snap myself back and remind myself, no, it's a kids film. It wasn't made for me, I'm not in the demographic for it, so it's going to be cliche, it's going to be kind of corny in the dialogue and the characters. The completely 100% predictable story, I mean seriously, you can tell how it's going to unfold beat for beat for beat. You've seen this kind of character and story development in 1,000 kids films before. But again, I kept telling myself that kids aren't going to care about that. Kids don't care about the cliche characters or the cliche dialogue or the predictable story. They just want to go in here and see a fun fantasy adventure on the big screen, and in that aspect this film does its job quite well. And that's what I meant. For the first 2/3 of it, it would be cliche dialogue, corny stuff, and then a really cool scene with some fight scenes and some demons, the kids going after the demons, and then they go back to a bit of a cringy, corny stuff, and then another cool fight scene. It was like that for the first 2/3 of it. But then the climax of the film comes, and the third act of this film is actually really awesome. I really enjoyed the third act, and it kind of lifted this film up a little bit for me, because again, for the first 2/3 I was like, okay, it's fun, it's decent, it's a good, decent kids film, but that third act really just brought it up to a different level. It's not a great film, I didn't love the living hell out of it, I'm not going to rewatch it anytime soon, I'm not going to buy it on Blu-ray or anything like that. But for what this film's trying to be, a fun, entertaining 2 hours at the cinema for families and kids, I think The Kid Who Would Be King does its job quite well. Kids under the age of 13 are going to watch this film and they're going to live the adventure vicariously through the main kid characters. So they're going to connect to the film on that front, they're going to really enjoy it. The adults or the teenagers, babysitters who are taking them to see this film, they're going to tolerate it. It's not an incredibly juvenile kids film, but they are going to roll their eyes at some of the cheesy dialogue and some of the cliche stuff in there. Overall, I'm going to give The Kid Who Would Be King a 3.5 out of 5. So have you guys seen this film? What did you think about it? And what is your favourite kids fantasy film of the last couple of years? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know down there. And if you want to see more of my stuff, click on one of these things in a second, and I'll see you all next time.